our first and second degrees were in chemistry. Zenith Bank CEO Peter Mango had a bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering. Fidelity Bank CEO Nnamdi Okonkwo read agric economics, and Agbuje Agemogode was a lawyer. But you all rose to become bank MDs. Are the days gone when you have to be an accountant or a banking and finance graduate to be considered a core banker?
I think what I've learned is that education helps discipline and put structure into how you deal with things. So I think it's just going through a process. So going to university is a process that helps you discipline yourself. My educational background has helped me in terms of being analytical. And the type of business we do is very, very analytical. So it is, so retail is about, they say the retail business, there's the art to retail, which is the, the marketing, the branding, the products and services. But the science of retail is actually in the product development, in looking at the numbers, because you're trying to make money really from very, very small margins, and you have to sell solutions to a portfolio of people. And if that product, so every time we roll out a product, there's a marketing spend to it, there's a learning and development, and there's a rollout, and all that costs, and you're betting that thousands of people are going to be satisfied with that product enough for you to generate income. So there's a science and an analysis and a trial and error that you must have. You must have an analytical background to understand. And secondly, what people want is they want to do their banking without thinking that they're doing their banking. And so it requires more than being an accountant. The accountants have actually been taken over by the computer. So really and truly, the best accountant that we have is our banking application system. Everybody else is around there to support and to provide a holistic service to the customer.
What I get from what you just said is that an IT professional can rise to become bank MD someday, with the way things are. What does that IT professional, for example, have to do to get to this position someday, beyond being an IT professional?
I think what you need to understand in banking is also evolving, but there are some basic elements. You must understand risk. And so risk is, and there are many elements of risk. There's credit risk, there's market risk, there's even reputational risk, what affects your business. And so the basic of banking you must understand. You must understand a bit of accounting, you must understand a bit of human resource, you must definitely understand the risks that the organization faces. You must also understand how people are going to want to do banking in 5 to 10 years' time. So you must, in some cases, you must be able to see into the future as well and determine what's going to happen.
You're talking about the future. You're reputed to be highly passionate about technology. How will technology and the growth of e-commerce, for example, impact banking practices and bottom lines in the near and distant future?
I think it's already happening. So, so if you look at the Nigerian banking system, and if you look at banking systems in Europe and in England per se, I think in some areas we're far ahead than they are. So if we take, and I will just take one channel, which is mobile banking, and I will put my hand on my heart and tell you, I don't think I've seen any European bank that has a better mobile banking application than we have. And we have managed to do that because we're not anchored down by legacy systems. All our systems are basically best in breed, best in class systems. So it enables us to come out with products and solutions that can deliver services to the unbanked and underbanked. And now, how long does it take? So if you wanted to open an account today for somebody who didn't have an account, how long would it take? It would probably take you 2 minutes. And all you needed was any kind of phone, and any kind of phone that was working, your name, which you know, and your age and a password, and you're now plugged into the bank system. I don't know how many climates, how many countries that have that capability that we have. And so right now we have, I think in the last 8 months, we've doubled our customer base because we've doubled the number of, because we've made it much easier for people to plug into the banking space. Our customers can access their banking services wherever they are in the world because we have a 24/7 banking infrastructure. we now take banking we're now displacing traditional banking methods. So we have a better proposition where we have agents who go into the market and open bank accounts for people who don't have time because their working life does not allow them to go into a bank to open an account. So we open the account for them, and they don't have to they don't have to understand English because we get the person who can open it for them. And so that technology is an imperative for us, and it allows us to open accounts in a cost-effective manner, to reach areas where we couldn't reach before, and give customers access to their banking and choose the way, which is most important, the way they want to bank with us, whether they want to come to a branch, whether they want to use it through mobile or internet banking. So however you choose, you get access to full banking services and not just in the branch.
I wouldn't leave without asking you this. You started your banking career with GTB in 1993 and went on to work with Citizens Bank until 1997. Diamond Bank was founded by your family in 1990. Yeah. So it was already up and running at the time you started, yet you didn't start here. Was there any reason for that?
Well, you have to ask my father, but I can tell you what the benefit is. I think the benefit is that, I think you've learned the building blocks, and so I know how the engine works, and so it just gives you that flexibility to relate with people, understand whether they're at the executive level or at the shop floor, you can interact with them, and we're in a people business, and so it makes the job in a very complex industry slightly easier.
So PGD was behind all of this. By the way, PGD is Mr. Pascal Dozie. That's Uzoma's dad.
But you always had a choice, and I think what he did was, should I say, you always had a choice to say yes. I'll try banking, but I think I was fortunate enough to start banking in an organization like GT Bank that had similar cultures and values as my father had, and was an environment in which you could actually develop and actually enjoy what a crop of young people were trying to do. They were trying to change the world of banking in Nigeria, and I think that is what they are still trying to do, and that is also what we are trying to do. We're trying to change the way that people see banking and do banking, and make it, should I say, an attractive place for people to also come and work and continue to help change the world.
So the strategy was for you to start from the shop floor and rise to the...
The strategy was to ensure that I had a job and I didn't rely on him.
So what's the biggest lesson that you learned from your very illustrious dad?
I think there's a lot that I've learned, and I'm still learning from him. Diamond Bank has a lot of respect, and I think the culture of the brand emanates from him. So, and what I think it's difficult to put it in simple words, but he's a simple guy, and I think banking is a business that is conservative. So the simple guy. This is a guy where, when everyone was driving Honda Accords and Honda Accords in the 90s, he still had his 10-year-old 504, and you ask him, when are you going to change it? And he goes, what's wrong with it? It's still moving from A to B. And I think that's what's actually coming back into the industry, that simplicity. Because when you have an industry where, should I say, the servants are actually not doing what they're supposed to do, then it sends a wrong message to the economy at large. But he was a very simple person and very content. As he says that, this is a long distance race. So it's not how fast you can go on the onset, it is how sustainable your business is. So Diamond Bank is here to stay into the future. So as long as we have a good governance structure, and we stick to the fundamentals of banking, which is, ensuring that we have the right processes, we have an enabling environment for people, and we always ensure that our services or products are actually driven from the needs of customers and not for the convenience of ourselves. We will always be relevant to the communities in which we serve.
Mr. Uzoma Dozie, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And I thank you for watching. I invite you to join me next time when the program returns. But between now and then, let's continue our conversation online at channelstv.com. Do follow me on Twitter at ModelSY. So see you again sometime soon.